Hey everybody, it's Chris. I know it's been a couple of years since I made one of my videos, but my brother recently suggested that I should start making these videos again. Um, Today's video is going to be less research, informational, any of that stuff. It's going to be more of like a video blog, journal, I guess. And I wanted to be a little transparent with you all about some things going on in my life and then talk about the importance of self-care, which is something that I'm still working on. So, last October, my nephew passed away. He was 14 years old. And and he was my sister's son, and she passed away in 2015. Um so it really hit me hard for many reasons. He was the last thing of hers that was left, and I just loved him, and it was really, really hard for me to deal with, and some days still is. Um, I pretty much went into a downward spiral for a bit. I was taking online classes, and I pretty much just had to drop out because I couldn't work on my school. It was too difficult for me to try to sit and concentrate on reading and doing my assignments and stuff like that. I just couldn't keep up, even with the extensions that my teacher gave me. So I I decided to um, get a counselor, which I hadn't seen one for a while, and a psychiatrist. And now I'm on 4 or 5 meds. Uh, my psychiatrist diagnosed me with borderline personality disorder, which is something that I haven't really shared with anybody, just a few close people to me, because it's something that I'm still trying to wrap my head around. Um, I've come to accept it. Um, but like for years, I just felt like there was something more going on with me besides depression and anxiety. And so, for those of you who don't know what borderline personality disorder is, I wrote a few things down here to try to explain it to you. Um, so, it's emotional instability, unstable self image, feelings of abandonment, emptiness, and impulsivity. And a lot of times it's misdiagnosed as bipolar disorder. My psychiatrist is also teetering on also diagnosing me with bipolar disorder. I don't necessarily have manic moments, but my sleep is just so weird. Like, I wake up at, say, 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm up for several hours, and then sleeping on and off throughout the day. He thinks that maybe me getting up in the middle of the night could be hypomanic tendencies, or whatever you want to call it. But after being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, I watched a lot of videos about it, and just everything made sense. Um, I do have times where I do feel emotionally unstable, and it's really difficult for me to deal with. Um, and I wouldn't say that I really have problems with relationships, but as far as like maintaining relationships, but today in particular, I've been noticing how, well, lately I've just been thinking about how I wish I had more friends. I literally just have Jenny and my family. I don't really have any friends that I talk to regularly. I don't hang out with anybody. Um, I'm not working, so I don't really have other people in my life. And there have been many times that I really want that. But today, in particular, I was getting ready to reach out to a couple of old coworkers, and like, there's just something inside me that's like, no, they might reject you, or that sort of thing. It's really hard to explain, but it's like put the push and pull thing, and that's, I guess, how I'm feeling today. Um, yeah. So, I've been seeing my counselor regularly every week or every 2 weeks since about November. I've been seeing my psychiatrist monthly since about then. And honestly, this is the longest that I have stuck with a mental health regimen. I know I talked about counseling in my last video, about how important it is, but I didn't practice what I preach as far as sticking with it. And it's it's been a journey for sure. Taking my meds and talking to my counselor and not sugarcoating anything when I talk to them. Just tell them exactly how I'm feeling and trying to work through those things. And I've come a long way since October, but I still have a ways to go. Like I said, I'm not working right now, and I haven't really had a stable, steady job for the last 2 years. Um, I was going to school to get my bachelor's degree, but also, I guess it comes along with the borderline personality disorder. It was hard for me to keep a job for many reasons. I would either get really upset over something really small, or I had back issues. Just something always seemed to keep me from being able to keep a job. It's not that I don't want to work. It's difficult for me to deal with things sometimes, and it's something that I'm working on. Um, so yeah. Um, when I was taking classes in my master's program last fall, something that was always preached about was self-care. And self-care is very important for many reasons. So for me, I want to be a counselor. And in order for me to be able to be a counselor and be there for people who are hurting or looking for advice or, anything like that, any reason that somebody would go to a counselor, in order for me to be there for them 100%, I need to take care of myself. And that that's really a lot of things. It's taking care of your mental health, taking care of your physical health, which is next on my list. I really need to work on exercising and go to the doctor and stuff like that. Um, and just yeah. So I have a few things here that I wrote down for self care. Um, for myself, I like to write. I think I touched on that last time. I've been doing a lot of writing lately, mostly journaling. Still working on my book on and off. I feel like I haven't really got that far with it. I have so many ideas, um, but it's really hard for me to sit and try to focus on one thing in particular to write about. Um, we had an assignment where we had to write a positive affirmation, and that's something that you can post on your mirror, post on a cabinet, somewhere that you'll see it every day. I wrote a lot of different ones on mine, like I'm strong, I'm important, and a lot of other positive words like that. Not that I necessarily believe it, but I think if I see it enough times, read it enough times, I think that eventually I'll believe it, if that makes sense. Um, Another thing that I do sometimes in order to get to sleep, because sometimes I'll lay in bed and my mind races, is I'll listen to either classical music or the ocean or rainfall or ASMR. I can't really remember what that stands for right off, but it's basically just sounds. Um, I don't know. I can't explain it. Look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. You might think it's weird, but for me, I like to listen to that when I'm falling asleep. Um, yeah, I wasn't really prepared for this, but I did want to at least take a step in making a video. I know it may have been kind of all over the place because that's where my head is right now. But if you related to anything in this video, or if you would like for me to talk further about anything that I talked about in this video, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you like my video, like and subscribe. If you want to see more, I really, 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 really want to make more videos. I think that it could be another helpful thing for me and hopefully for you too. Alright, thanks. Have a good one. God bless.